This is day 354 of Zohar Pshat, and we're on the bottom of Mem Alf, Mador, the fourth level. Uhasaydana here. It's a place which is full of light. We had in the previous levels there was light and darkness. Here there's complete light. Tamuni here the Malachi law. He was telling me there's the light for Malachim on high who are on the right side. In other words, they're complete chesed. Before we had lots of din. By definition, the Mortzli saw, which is Gehenim is there, so there is obviously a lot of din going on. Here's only chesed. Paschi shirasa, and they open with song v'saime, and they conclude their songs. V'lo azlin la bara, and they don't go away. In the Mador saw there was no singing. But in Mador Tinyana there was singing, and there it says actually in Mador, I think the first one we also have singing. Do we have the first singing? I was singing too. No, we didn't have singing, but they got assumed. It says Karmaton lahai gabe ahu asar. It says Mador Karmatan lahau asar avdin v'lo mishtachin. They get lost, and then they get rebuilt or recreated. In the Mador Tina, where they sang, it didn't say that they get lost. It just says, they want to sing, but then they start to wait for Am Yisrael. But here, it stresses, they don't go away. Kani kadmoi, like the previous ones, the pasin shirasa u mitokdan. The earlier levels they open the shir and then they become ignited. Misabron benur dolik, and then they so evidently we're explaining there that the ones in Lor Medoros, Medoros, they are ignited and they pass through the fire, and the time is scotching, and then they renewed. So earlier levels, the song, they sing, and then they become bottle in the song. They become recreated in the fire. And obviously, because we're talking there are levels where there's darkness, and darkness to be purified by the fire. But here there's no darkness; there's just light. So therefore, there's no renewal necessary. They complete their songs. And they go on. Because the Malachim Rachamim don't have to change ever. The Malachim of Din, obviously, when the Din consumes itself, so to speak, they're renewed. Either go on to the next Din, or maybe go up to a higher level, they call Malachim Rachamim. But these Malachim are always Rachamim at this level, and therefore they don't have to be consumed by the din which they impose, which consumes them, it consumes them, and they just remain. It says, "Osa malacha ruchos." He makes his malachim ruchos. In other words, these is interesting. The malachim don't take on human form. They never come down to this world and interact with human beings. They're not seen by human beings in this world. In other words, these are malachim of Rachamim, but they do their Rachamim in ways which are obscured from us down here below, except Bar Michezva, except the time they say appear in a vision. So, according to the Rambam, malachim only appear in visions. Malachim can't take on human form. Obviously, the Zohar doesn't hold that way. The Zohar holds that some malachim can take on human form, like the Ramban who argues in the Rambam. So, but not these malachim. These are only seen. Obesitr in some other way. B'sachlon Suna is sagi with great intellect, I guess. So a person needs to be at a very high level to perceive them. But the higher malachim, which we're going to get to later on, Gabriel, Ria, Raphael, they can take on forms because they're higher. I guess if these malachim took on forms, then they would not be able to maintain them. They would not be stable because they don't have that much authority. I don't know why. I guess when we get to later malachim, maybe we'll see something. But in any event, these are only seen in visions. Chai malachim emani alaya. There's one malach who's in charge of them. Pidakel shmei. So obviously, Lashem Pidyon, redemption, because these are Malachim who are redeeming. They don't punish. They just redeem. They just come down to inspire people with Rachamim. Ubei Psichin Mefatcha and the Rachamim, and their openings of Rachamim, which open from this Mador to below. Leinu Desaivin Gabe, those who return towards it. The Gabe the Marin, those who return to Kodesh Baruch Hu. So here the people who do tshuva can get into this Mador. Plus in Tarin Labar, there's also openings through which pass the davenings and requests of human beings below. It's a fascinating thing because we know the Malachim have that job to transmit our tefillos, and so therefore this is where they go through. They go through this Mador, which it makes sense because it's like the middle Mador, right? We have 3 below, we have 3 above, and there's one like in the middle. So this is where I guess tefillah is called Rachmei, because the tefillah, ideally speaking, goes to this Mador and is presented by these Malachim above as requests for Rachamim, and responded to Mida Keneged Mida with Rachamim, because they Malachim here are transmitting the tefillos, I guess, in a way which makes them more refined and more capable of accomplishing that what they're supposed to accomplish. And the Malach who's in charge represents this idea of making sure all these tefillos are going to lead to pidyon, lead to redemption. So therefore, this level is a level which goes between the din and the below and what's above, which we don't know yet because we haven't done it yet. So it gets to the 5th Mador. We'll see how that interacts with Mador. So therefore, we have 3 Mador which are dinim in various different levels, 1 Mador which is Rachamim, and we'll have to see what happens next in the next Mador.